Hello, welcome to this edition of the Carvel Community Meeting. Today is September 14th, 2022. Um, I'm John Ryan. Nancy is out on a well-earned holiday today, so welcome. If you're watching this recording, we encourage you to come join us live. We meet every second and fourth Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. It's a chance to listen on what the maintainers are working on, give us feedback, ask questions, just get live help with any of the tools, chance to be with us synchronously. For those of you who are here today, if you have anything you want to discuss with the community, there's that section in the community meeting notes. Please go down in there, edit that, and put in your topic. If you aren't able to attend live and you want to reach out to us with any questions or you have feedback for us, the best place is the Kubernetes Slack workspace. That's the Carvel channel. You can also email us. You can find us on GitHub and Twitter at Carvel_dev. So that's how to reach out to us. When you attend these meetings, we ask that you read and abide by our code of conduct. And it's linked in the agenda here. Boop, boop. And additionally, we ask that when you attend, if you can slide your name in on this list here. If you don't mind mentioning the organization you represent, so we know who's from the community is showing up to these things and we can keep our communication lines open, that'd be great. We also invite you to put a comment in, let's see, where is that issue? Oh yeah, right here. If you're using Carvel, if you can comment on this issue and talk about how it is you're using Carvel tools and ideally adding the organization's logo so we can help promote your organization and also learn about how folks use our tools. It's the pinned issue in our repo. Let me go back to Carvel here. Somewhere in there. Pinned issues. All right, cool. That's that business. Let's move on to announcements. Today's just an ordinary day, except yesterday, drum roll please. Yeah, so yesterday was the vote at the Cloud Native Computing Foundation to determine whether or not Carvel ought to be in the sandbox. Let me see if I can find that link. Sorry, I'm clicking on it and the Chrome got in the way. So congratulations, folks. We are now officially a CNCF sandbox project. Woohoo! What does this mean? This means that we are getting a lot of community support, that we're aiming our focus to be much more of a community project and a contributor to the CNCF themselves. Anybody had any words about this they want to share? It's a big moment.
Yeah, I think this is just a really big moment, and many thanks to folks that are on this call or folks that couldn't make it. It's been a lot of hard work, and I think this is just a great milestone to celebrate. So looking forward to where we go from here.
Great. Anyone else have any thoughts they want to share about that?
It's big congratulations to everybody here and people who could not make it to the meeting today. I think we have been waiting with bated breaths, yesterday when that meeting was happening, we were waiting when the results are going to come out, and it happened. Yay, it finally happened. So Nancy is not here today, but she gave a big push to get this done. Dimitri, of course, put in the application and everything. So, and he's right here. Dimitri, you should say something.
I don't think I have anything too special to add. I think, congratulations to everybody. We've collectively have done a lot of work to make the project where it is today, and hoping to keep on pushing it forward.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay, well, that was just yesterday. So coming up, we're actually doing a presentation to the tag around application delivery. So that's happening September 21st. So we're looking forward to sharing more publicly in a more public forum about how all that works. I'm going to take a look at that link. Is that, gotcha. That's the group. Cool. All right, next, community membership and contributor model.
Yeah, just wanted to share that we have spent, past month or two reviewing our contributor model, and we have published an updated one. We're still considering this to be very much as like, I don't know, in the settling state. So it's a great time to provide any feedback that you have, any questions, anything that's unclear. We'd love to hear it. But yeah, please let us know. And I don't know, we're planning to revisit this, somewhat regularly until things really do feel settled. But this is our first iteration of it.
Just one question on it, Aaron, actually. I see that it mentions there the Carvel GitHub organization. I'm guessing that's as part of becoming CNCF, it's moving orgs.
Yeah, a bit of this is lightly inspirational, a little forward looking. So exactly, Scott, where this is part of the expected move that we'll be making as part of the CNCF donation.
So that means that now that we finished renaming all the Go packages, we get to rename them again? Yay.
For the last time ever. Joe?
Oh, I was just thinking about all our release scripts. I hadn't thought about that. Is it too late to come out opposed to this donation?
Just by one day. Sorry about that. Almost made it. Yeah. So like now since we've made all these moves, maybe now we should put in a vanity URL for our package names, right? Like since this will probably be the last move. It's the last one. This is it. Good stuff. Good stuff. This is great. Growing up as a project. All right. Anything else about the community membership or contributor model? Okay. Cool. All right. So looking into content around the project, there was this interview on between chair and keyboard with Sumit. Sumit, did you want to talk about how that went?
Yeah, sure. So the interview was honestly more of like a very casual conversation about how it is to work in like an open source facing team and like the nuances of it. We did talk about like how it was for me to start working in this team, and then a bit about Carvel, where we headed, what we tried to do. And then we spent a lot of time talking about fantasy novels. So yeah, it was really great. And so since this is a Twitch stream and Nate does these like every week, so if you all want to drop by someday, that'd be great. Like there's some great conversations going on there.
Cool. Yeah, that's a great pitch for the show too. Awesome. Thank you. And a summary blog post, Carvel in August.
Yeah, just a look back on the activities in August. Had a lot going on. So it's this is just serving as a place to try and round up all the things that happened, various bits of blog posts, videos, release notes. But yeah, feel free to check it out.
Oh, it's fantastic. This is a great way of getting that summaries, of the highlights for the month. That's pretty cool. All right, and then upcoming next week, there's a blog post that's pending for the YTT validation stuff. We'll hear about YTT validations in a little bit, but look for that this next week. And yeah, your seeing a lot of stuff coming out of the maintainers corner in terms of content sharing, but actually we'd love to hear from you too. There's a really easy way to do this. There's a little sign up sheet. You can go down in here and you do a PR on this page, put your name in, pick a date, and let us know what topic and what format it might be. Is it written, a video, or what have you? And if you have any questions about that, just come to our Slack channel. And if you're not a maintainer on the project, we'd love to thank you for your contribution and drop some swag over your way. These are some pretty nice looking t-shirts and whatnot. So anyway,
just the next, if you get t-shirts, you're gonna have to wash them because they're gonna be sandy. We're gonna bury them in our sandbox, and then you're gonna have to just wash the t-shirts.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you know treatments on how to get large grains of dirt and sand out, that'll come really important. Being out of the sandbox, in the sandbox. Thank you, Joe. It's good stuff. All right, and then this week we've got 2 releases already since the last time we all met together. One of them is image package version 0.32. This is an important one. So image package 0.32 has a deprecation, so pay attention. So there used to be, well, there still is, an environment variable called image package enable IAS auth, and it didn't work out as great as we wish it would. It was authenticating against all of the keychains, which created problems of all kinds, and it created a bunch of communication you probably wouldn't want. So we have a replacement for that, which is for you to select which keychains you want to have active. We have a number of these that you can select from, and only those that you configure are the ones that get used. It was some work to get this to come together. We really appreciate Ben Moss's contribution on that particular fix. That's the highlight here. There's also some API changes to take a look for those who are integrating with image package as a Go module. So check out the release notes. That's image package 32. And also secretgen-controller. This one goes to 11. Anybody want to talk to this one?
Yeah, well, the most exciting thing about it is that it goes to 11. Previous versions of secretgen-controller can only go up to 10 or 10.3. This one goes all the way to 11. Do you ever look at an open source project and you're like, oh, they haven't had any releases in a while. I don't know if I should use that. Maybe they probably have security patches that aren't even up to date. Maybe it's an abandoned. We're avoiding that by cutting a quarterly release with really nothing but minor bug fix and security patches.
Looks like this was a group effort.
Oh yeah. So, okay. In no particular order, Vicmar Bev fixed a bug for us. Thank you, Victor. That was cool. That's the only new behavior present in this release. Aaron Hurley, I don't know who that is, but he also improved a few things. Joao, who isn't here today, mostly fixed things around our Trivy process, and our boy Kevin from VMware 01 fixed something in the docs. So there you go. Even though we hardly did anything, it took a lot of people to hardly do anything. It goes to show.
That's right. Even when there's a little work, many hands make light of it and the work. Cool. Thank you, Joe. All right, so that's what's happened. Let's turn our focus to the future. Let's start with the roadmap.
The roadmap has been lightly updated to at least reflect current day. There are some things here that are penciled in, but we are currently actively doing some roadmap planning. So we'll get this a bit more defined for the upcoming months over the next week or two. But as always, please let us know if there is anything in particular that you're looking for. This is a very good time to make suggestions. We're still continuing along similar themes, providing stability and delight to users and enhancing our package author experiences. Anything anyone else wants to add?
Cool. All right, so there's us at the 10,000 foot level. Let's jump into stuff that's going on this week out of our backlog. Vendor. So let's see, within vendor, there's Shua was telling me yesterday that there's just a little bit left to finish up on the caching work there. If you want details, you can check out that link. And to consume the this latest release of image package that we were just talking about. That's the vendor bits. Cool. Kapp-controller.
Yeah, this is some other work that Joao is working on. So the vendor work is supporting kapp-controller's ability to be resilient to either network outages or being unable to reach a container registry. So just making it a bit more resilient. So these features are definitely linked. It's still questionable if we'll make it into this next release because there is a little bit more work to go. But the next release for kapp-controller is planned for, what is that, next Tuesday?
That's right. 6 days from now. Cool, thank you. On the YTT front, so let's see, we've got our much anticipated .43 release coming up, and this is going to include validations as a generally available feature. We're very excited about this. In preparation for that, there's been a few updates to the implementation based largely off of feedback we've gotten from our usability tests. Thank you for everybody who was involved in those. We've got a ton of feedback. The most critical stuff that related to API design we were able to incorporate. There's other great ideas that we aspire to grab to. We'll be pulling those into our backlog. So it's just been wonderful community effort there. And that also included validation of our, well, no pun intended, of our cheat sheet. And that's been something that we saw was very useful in those tests. Varsha, was there anything else that we should talk about that's going on this week? YTT.
Yes, basically we are finishing up with our validation docs. We have included the main schema validation related all functionalities in the docs, and the validation cheat sheet will be very useful for this. And yeah, that's pretty much. We have covered a few things that came up through usability testing, and we created those stories and completed work on that. So really excited for this upcoming release.
Cool. Any questions on that? All right. KCTRL?
Yeah. So we did make an alpha release last month, and after that we have been collecting the feedback from users, how they are using it, what are the pain points, be it related to the docs or be it some features they are requesting for. So we are capturing all of them and working toward them and creating issues on the kapp-controller. So yeah, the issues are already created. You can go and look and see if whatever the feature you are requesting, maybe somebody has already requested for it. And we'll encourage to share your feedback as much as possible so that we can polish the product more. And then, so we have been working on handling the difference between the app specs of package resources and package build better view. And as part of that, the responsibility will now lie on the user. Now, if you want to override one with another one or not. And then the major thing we are working on is to generate the OpenAPI schema from Helm values.yaml file. Yeah, so we'll be supporting what is being generally used, because Helm values.yaml file, it doesn't have any set of hard ways how you write a comment about a field. So basically, it's up to the users and they can write it anywhere they like. But we will be creating one implementation and share it out and see. The last point is related to that. Your file flag. Yep.
Yeah, sorry, Rohit. We're looks like we're having a little bit of net congestion between here and where you're at, or wherever the recording goes. We heard everything up to the last item, which looks like it's about the YTT overlay file flag.
Yeah, that's all I have to share. If there are any other things we can discuss.
Cool. Any questions, or anyone else want to add some color to that? Great. This is great work that we're pulling together a lot of the value of the Carvel suite into what we hope to be a more user-friendly and integrated experience. So this is great work. Cool. All right. I'm looking at the discussion topics. No one's put anything down in the document as I can see. Did anybody have anything that came up or as a question?
I think I had added some cap updates, but I don't see them here.
Okay.
I did talk about renaming cap model, so I guess caught us behind it. But I can like talk about what we have coming up for cap. So we are actually working on closing out on a few of OpenThread's interesting features, and we would be making a release by end of this week, so probably tomorrow or day after. And that will also have the cap module renamed to VM by Tanzu finally. And for coming weeks, we are planning to work on exploring cap as a module. So maybe having APIs for it and working on some performance enhancement issues.
Cool. Terrific. So I imagine we go into the backlog, we could see some of that work that's in flight and coming up. If you have some questions about those details, you can look there. Thank you, Praveen. Any other questions or anything to share about what went on this week or coming up this next week?
Just one question. Is the plan to have the new YTT with validations in the next release of kapp-controller? Meaning it will be usable out of the box? Or will that be only in the next version of kapp-controller? Just wondering if we're going to bump YTT already.
Right. I believe so. Does anybody know for sure? Can't see any reason why not.
Yeah, so our plan is to bump YTT, I guess, cut a release by the end of this week. And then on Tuesday next week, we're going to cut a new kapp-controller. So we'll bump everything to the latest releases in kapp-controller.
Awesome. Yay, validations and packages.
Good stuff. All right, anything else to talk about today? Otherwise, we'll be wrapping this up.
I was curious, what's the latest on, I saw some proposal, I think, coming in around the Semver functionality in YTT.
Yeah, so Max Brower has put together a proposal around adding
Looks like we lost John.
Well, now you know.
I guess we'll give John a moment to come back, and I'll drop a link to the proposal that we're talking about here.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Perfect.
Wait, just kidding. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. Yeah, did we mention it in the 30 seconds I was away?
No, just dropped a link to it.
Okay, cool. Yes, thanks for mentioning that, Dimitri. It's Max Brower put in that proposal, and the idea is that within a template, you should be able to parse, manipulate, and render out semantic versioning strings, including metadata and build information. So that proposal is in progress. Take a look at that link, and you'll be able to, well, I just click on that link. Oh my gosh. My Zoom Chrome got in the way. And if you want to read a nicely formatted version that's come into the files change, just say view file, and GitHub will generously render this down as markdown. So take a look. So yeah, this is a really great example of a way to have an in-depth conversation about a pretty significant contribution. Cool. Dimitri, was there anything else about that you wanted to bring up, or just the fact that like we're in the midst of that conversation?
No, yeah, I was just mostly curious, how it's going. I glanced at it a couple of days ago, I think, and then I got distracted by all kinds of other things. So was just I was just curious.
Cool. Yeah, I can give a tiny bit more color. It's we've done at least a round of reviews on that, and Max has responded to a lot of that feedback, including laying out a number of use cases that are driving out the proposal. So I feel like it's at a point now where it's starting to converge on at least what the overall scope of what that module will address. It does also have some hints about implementation, so there's stuff that you can go poke at there, thinking about. And he came in thinking about how else are we doing Semver in other tools in Carvel. So feel free to review that work. That's definitely been something that's been on his radar since he started with that. So yeah, cool. Any other discussion topics?
Yeah, I think maybe one thing I'll mention is regarding, and I should probably leave it as a comment. We do have a fork of a Beelang Semver library inside our old GitHub org K14s Semver, I think. I don't know, John, if you're aware of that. And that's the library we use in vendor and kapp-controller to do the version parsing. And one nuance about the fork is that it does treat build metadata as sortable property, which is actually goes against the Semver spec. And the reasoning there was that, for example, in a context of vendor and kapp-controller, right, we really wanted to make sure that you don't end up fetching or interacting with, different content every single time you, let's say, rerun the reconcile or rerun the vendor sync, right? So we wanted that guarantee that there is some sane order to a list of versions, and that order will, remain every time you run it, every time you sort. So I would advocate for applying the same library and hence the same nuance to this implementation.
Yeah, that's a really good call out. I know that there is the Belang Semper library. I'm not sure that it's mentioned in the proposal that we would specifically look to use the fork from the K14S org. That's a really good, yeah, please leave a comment there on that so we don't forget. Thanks, Dimitri. Cool. Anything else? All right. Thanks for coming to our community meeting today. If you're watching from home, we'd love for you to join us live. And until then, we'll see you at the next meeting. Take care.